Crazy indeed, at least for one day, then offense is validated, and how? The Boilermakers become Spoilermakers one more time. 20.
I imagine you're wondering, what does this moment have to do with all of you, this Kaizen tribe? And what does it have to do with the clients that those of us that are coaches serve? And what you're going to see when you think about the energy of a moment such as this one, you think about the reasons that we've all shared with each other as to why we're here. What you're going to realize is that the energy of a moment like this is something that you actually have the ability to create within your business, within your lives, and to truly, genuinely, authentically transform the lives of those of the clients that you serve. So, I'm a storyteller, and I'm going to tell a story. And it's an interesting story, the story of how basic instructions came to be. And it really started with that moment. One thing you may not realize about that moment is that was the very first time I had ever been on television. And that was the first college football game I ever played, was that game. And so I'm going to tell you the story about how that came to be and how that led to what I'm going to share with you today about basic instructions. You guys want to hear the story?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got college football fans here today. All right. We got NFL football fans here today. Good, because it's going to be a lot of college and NFL references. So let's start. So I was originally born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and, was blessed enough to be drafted back to my hometown team. But, people look at me, they see a Super Bowl ring, they see all of the prestige that comes with playing at that top level. But what you may not realize is that's just a very small percentage of my life experience. And when my life started in Pittsburgh, I was born into a family that was completely devoid of love. There was a very high level of domestic violence, the type of stuff that I don't even feel comfortable sharing, not because I'm afraid to be vulnerable, but more because I don't want to put those pictures into your head. And that was my life in my formative years growing up. And so you can imagine the trauma for a child wondering how to make sense of this and the pain that comes along with that. And for me to deal with that situation back then, the way I dealt with it was to focus on sports. This was my peace. This was my solace. This is where I was able to focus my attention and my energies on something positive, to be able to be a part of a team and be a valued member of at least that tribe, if not the tribe that I came from. And, my mom, my dad eventually left us. And my mom, you can imagine, taking care of me and my siblings, her main focus was not on my extracurricular activities. She had more important things, you can imagine, on her mind. Sports was just something I just really loved to do, the place where I felt like my authentic self, the place where I was able to really channel my energies and show people how good I am. And it was a place where I automatically felt worthy to be there. So, one thing I did back then, growing up in a house without a father figure, is I would find my male role models. I collected father figures. And the coaches, you can understand in the context of this team, how the coach was somebody that I really focused on. Because in the context of this team, I saw my coach as the leader of the pack, the chief of the tribe, and our loving protector. What I would do is I would focus in on this individual, and I would really pay attention to everything they said, recognizing right now that this is somebody I want to make proud. I want to be just like him when I grow up.